Hello and welcome to the Understanding Narcissists YouTube channel. I've actually just been talking for the past 5, 6, 7 minutes, I don't even know. And then I looked down and I realized it wasn't recording. So I have to start over again, but that's okay because I think I'm probably more refined now after one good take. But this video is going to be about black and white thinking. And that has to do with the simple fact that narcissists have a very, very tough time, or maybe even no ability at all, no way of thinking in terms of gray areas or marginal thinking within the margins. And what that means is that everything really boils down to whether it's good for them or it's not good for them. And everything really is, and that really means if it supports their illusion or it doesn't support their illusion. Now, I want to make a point that they're really good at looking like, all the time, really good at looking like they are good at that, at thinking in gray areas, reading between the lines, kind of taking into consideration all details and all facts about something. But they aren't. They're just putting it on. And how you can see that is where their decisions come in. When a narcissist you'll notice that narcissists always say one thing and do another. And oftentimes they'll say one thing and then do the complete opposite. And that stems from the fact that whatever they're saying has to make them look good, and whatever they're doing is ultimately going to be bad. So they're going to be complete opposites. And they like to push and believe themselves and get you to believe and then believe themselves that what they're doing is they're saying something that's good and they're acting for the good thing, but they're really just doing whatever's going to get them ahead, get them there, fix, support their illusion. And that's why everything comes down to being good for the illusion or being bad for the illusion. Now, it's not even that you'll notice that it's something's good or something's bad. It's not even that it's in between. If it doesn't do something for them, it's bad because it's a potential threat. Everything has to support them. It's like a child. They want to live in that little world in their bubble, and they don't want to pay any mind, any regard to the goings-on in the world or what might be happening on the international stage or really even down the street. There aren't neighbors, all that kind of thing. It's all to facilitate and support their fantasy. It's all to help them. And so you will notice that despite what they say, to emulate, to mimic thinking in the gray area, considering a point from all sides, they're going to be inclined or they're going to act on what's going to benefit them. And they're really going to think they're going to love that thing because they want that, or they're going to hate it. That's why. And often, this is a complicated concept I don't want to bring into this video too much because I don't want it to muddy the waters here and obscure what I'm trying to get across. But they also love to hate. So if you take you, for instance, they don't love you. They can't love you. They don't love themselves. But they enjoy the process and recognize that they rely on you to support themselves in that abusive cycle. They know they need you. They need that parent. They need that dysfunctional partner that's going to reflect back to them, that's going to go back and forth with the abuse, that's going to play the game and believe what they're telling them and then support the narcissist, which is dysfunctional. If you're supporting a narcissist, you're being dysfunctional as well. You're a part of it. Even if it's not, you're responsible, but even if it's not your fault. You see, there's a difference there between who's behind it and who's generating it and who's culpable and who's responsible. And yes, they're all of those things, but you're the only one who can really be responsible because you're the only person who can make a choice. They're not going to make a choice, they're ill. But that black and white thinking also illustrates how that what it really is the child. Because if you're little, there are things that are all good that you want to absorb, that you want to be around, your parents, your environment, you know where you need to be safe, and anything else is bad. Well, they've taken that into adulthood. They've taken that to an extreme. They got to hide it. it's immature. It's not right. And they know that that's not something they're going to go tell people. That's probably not something they're even aware of. It's just how where their development stopped and didn't proceed any further. That's also why narcissists become different people in different situations. They have different molds. It's why they don't have beliefs. They don't have the sense of self to form their own values as to how they got, because they don't understand who they are, where they got to where. They just are a process that needs to get their fix. They need to have the illusion supported at any and all costs, at great personal cost to you and themselves, but they don't see that. The only thing they can understand is that survival within the illusion, and they need to support the illusion at all costs. That's all they have. But because there's no personal identity, there are no beliefs, there are no values, there's no cause, there's nothing they actually believe in. And in different situations, they're going to believe whatever they have to. They're going to profess whatever they need to tell other people to look a certain way. Again and again. It doesn't matter. That's all to support a certain response to, or really to elicit a certain response to, again, support the illusion, to make it real, to make people believe something that isn't true. It works in that environment. But as soon as they left that environment, it doesn't matter anymore. It's not important. It's irrelevant. They got what they wanted. They're off somewhere else, and they need to change, they need to mold to become that person, so that same kind of core, it's not identity, it's kind of an avatar of some kind. Kind of these core mock traits, to emulate, to mimic these traits, to stimulate a certain response from other people, so that other people think highly of them. They think they're great, and that you're not. And so to get that whole relationship there, so that they think they're right. They're the ones who are on the right track. They're the ones who are kind of achieving this perfect archetype of some kind. They're achieving a higher form. They're more than human. They're something great. And because when it comes down to it, they don't feel like people. They don't have the same options and choices that you and I do. They can't change. They don't have the power to apply themselves, to achieve something for themselves. They're just stuck in that world. And it really does boil down to that inability to see nor care about anything that doesn't support their illusion, that internal drive. They can humor you. They can make it look like they understand those things, but they really don't. It's all about getting back into that bubble and talking about the things that make them feel good about themselves. So I hope you found this video helpful. Like it, share it with somebody you think might benefit, comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.